throwing shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be sobbing, but still talking shit like they violent.
So the NBA season is almost coming to a close and award season is approaching. Now I'll make my prediction for each award in the coming weeks, but today we'll start with the big one, the Most Valuable Player Award. While last year we had a unanimous decision in voting Steph Curry, and rightfully so since he had one of the most dominant regular seasons in NBA history, this year has been one of the closest in a long time. Now what is the MVP? Well, ironically, even though the award suggests that it'll go to the most valuable player, it's not. If they did this, Kobe would definitely have more than one, and LeBron would have had it every year for the past decade. But that's not how it works. It essentially goes to the most hyped up player of the year, and you might as well lock it down if his team is in the top 2 in their conference. Perfect example, Derrick Rose in 2011. LeBron had better stats than D-Rose, only won 4 games less, yet he didn't get MVP because D-Rose was the talk of the season, and LeBron was the 2nd seed while D-Rose was the 1st. Same thing with Kobe and Shaq in 05 and 06, with Steve Nash winning because he was the best player on the best team. Now the question is, what about this year? Who is the real MVP? First, let's mention some honorable mentions. Isaiah Thomas, my favorite player, has been having a phenomenal year, comparing to, Allen Iverson in his prime. But because he's not a two-way player and is really only outstanding in scoring, well, at least compared to these other guys, he won't get it. Kevin Durant as well was one of the top candidates for MVP throughout the season. But just like Joel Embiid, there will be people saying that the award shouldn't go to someone who didn't even play the whole season. And then add the fact that like LeBron in his first year with the Miami Heat, he is the most hated player, he won't get it. Kawhi Leonard has been making a great case lately on why he should be the MVP and is definitely an MVP candidate. And he is a candidate, but I'm just not convinced he's in the top 3. That leaves us with LeBron James, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Who is the real MVP? Let's start with LeBron James. Now first, let me just say LeBron James really is the NBA's MVP in terms of the fact that he's still the best player in the game, and his monetary value to the league is just irreplaceable. LeBron James transforms any team from being a lottery team to an instant championship contender. He makes guys like Kyle Korver, Ray Allen, Tristan Thompson, and other role players better than what they really are, at least at the time they're with him. And then you add the fact that he's basically a walking 25, 8, and 8 guy with his physical dominance. It's undeniable that he technically is the NBA's most valuable player. LeBron James is having a career high in rebounds and assists, and that is saying a lot since, again, this man has been averaging 8 rebounds and 8 assists his whole career basically, alongside 26 points. But the reason I am going to count him out this year is because of the fact that there are 2 other players in James Harden and Russell Westbrook that are averaging better stats than him, or at least as good, with less help. Now again, there is something to be said about averaging those stats on a stacked team. The fact that your stats should theoretically go down but aren't is definitely a valid case. But honestly, that's just not how the MVP is voted on. The MVP has different factors like voter fatigue, which LeBron has, that affect your number of votes. Also, just looking at it as just one season, LeBron James has not carried his team to where they are. Yes, without LeBron, they wouldn't be the number 1 seed. But you take Russell Westbrook and Harden off their team, you have 2 lottery teams fighting with the Brooklyn Nets. With the Cavs, you still have a playoff team. Like I said, I get the case for LeBron. I get why he is the most valuable player, but I'm just telling you right now, in terms of who really is going to win it this season, it'll come down to James Harden and Russell Westbrook because of the narrative around those two and the stats that they're putting up. That's just the way it is, I'm sorry. So that leaves us with James Harden and Russell Westbrook. I'm not even gonna lie, I've made around 2 to 3 videos on the MVP discussion throughout the season, and I have flip-flopped so much it's not even funny. But that just shows how close the race is this year. But this will be my last conclusion. Now, I don't want to go over each player since I'm sure you guys have watched 1,000 of videos on this topic already, but essentially all you need to know is James Harden is averaging 29 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds, and his team is projected to be the 3rd seed going into the playoffs, while Westbrook is averaging a ridiculous 31 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, with the team projected to be somewhere between the 5th and 7th seed. The case with Russell Westbrook can be made with the fact that he's averaging better stats, and is the main reason as to why the Thunder are winning. Yes, you can say that about Harden, but with Westbrook, wherever he goes, the team goes. And I've never seen that phrase more personified than Russell Westbrook this season. I mean, he accounts for half of their assists per game, more than 20% of their rebounds per game, nearly a third of their points per game. I mean, like, he does everything for their team. Like I said, he controls the fate of that team. Also, he has a better narrative than James Harden, given the whole Kevin Durant situation this summer and the aura of averaging 30, 10, and 10 for a whole season, a triple-double for a whole season, definitely has his vibe with some voters. Now, with James Harden, the case with him is that he's doing everything that Westbrook is doing, except he's just averaging 2 less rebounds. But considering the fact that OKC bigs literally box out for Westbrook to get his rebounds, and the fact that the 2 points he's averaging less than Westbrook is made up by having 1 more assist, and then you add that he's leading his team to the 3rd best record, not just in the West, but in the whole entire league, there is definitely a reason for why James Harden is in the top 2. And you know what, really, I think that's it. That's enough. I'm ready to draw my conclusion just from that statement alone. James Harden should win, and I believe will win, the 2017 MVP. I know some people will say Westbrook is doing more with less talent, but to me, that's not even 100% accurate. Coming into this season, not a lot of people were saying a supporting cast of Eric Gordon, Clint Capella, Trevor Ariza, and Patrick Beverley was gonna be better than Victor Oladipo, Enes Kanter, Steven Adams, and Andre Robertson. So that statement's not even 100% true. So considering that, James Harden is literally doing everything that Russ is, except more efficiently and naturally. And then you add the fact that you have a guy leading his team to the 3rd best record in the league without the voter fatigue that LeBron is getting. I believe James Harden should win and will win the MVP. Now, please do not take this as me saying that Russell Westbrook is having an overrated season or that he's bad, because he's not. He is a top 5 player in the league in my opinion, and as far as the pure point guards, the guys that have been playing point guard their whole career, he is the best right now, hands down. If not for James Harden, I would vote for Russell Westbrook. And even with me saying that James Harden is better, the voting should still be really close, because there really is an argument for both and you can't go wrong with either. I just like the fact that Harden is more efficient and he has put his team in a position where they can compete, or at least win a game against the Spurs, the Cavs, and the Warriors with Kevin Durant. But with Westbrook, his team has been getting blown out by 40 by the same teams. And history is on James Harden's side. If you look at the past MVP winners, hell, let's just look at the last 22 years. The MVP has been on a team with a top 3 record in the league. Russell Westbrook is 7th in this conference and 11th overall in the league. And then you can even go back to the year Oscar Robertson himself averaged a triple-double. The same year he averaged a triple-double, Wilt Chamberlain averaged 50 points per game and 20 plus rebounds. But who won MVP? Bill Russell. So that just shows that voters don't just vote for the best stats. They vote for the best combination of stats, narrative, and team success. And James Harden, to me, and to a lot of people, has the best combination of those 3 than anybody in the league this year. But with that being said, I am planning to do videos on the rest of the awards throughout the weeks leading up to the playoffs. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.